So back in July, in fact on July 20th, I bought a compound Dwalt saw. It was like $600. A really nice one. I used to just use this, what is now just a little piece of garbage. You know, that's lasted me. I bought that thing maybe 15 years ago, and it still works fine. It's just, if you try to do a 45-degree angle with it, when you pull down on it, you never get a really good angle on it. And I just figured it was time to get a new saw. So the saw that I got is a really big, nice one. And a couple of weeks ago, I was there at Home Depot, and I saw that they were offering, you know, that same saw that I got, but with this stand. Okay. So I thought, well, you know, geez, I just bought that saw, and sure would be nice to have that stand. They make the offer, you know, it was like maybe 4 weeks. It was probably under 4 weeks. I think that offer's been there for a few weeks now. Anyway, you know, I went in there with my receipt and a couple of artifacts from the saw itself, which is set up in my backyard. You know, just to prove, you know, that, hey, look, I bought this saw back on July 20th. Here's my receipt. Here are these things from the saw. And then just a few weeks later, you guys, you know, you have this special. Can't you, you know, make good on that special for me? After all, I am a loyal customer. Been going there just by virtue of the fact that you live right across the street from me almost. I live right across the street from them. Wouldn't necessarily go to Home Depot otherwise, but that's a side story to the story. So, you know, at first they're like, you know, you bought it. It's been more than 30 days, you know, and I'm like, well, so, and they were like, okay. They said, all right. And so they, and so I gave them the receipt, and they, you know. And so I gave them the receipt, and what I had to do, essentially do, was return it, right? I mean, basically, they didn't say all right until I said this. I said, okay, well, look, you've got a 90-day return policy. So I'm just going to go get this saw. I'm going to return it, and then you guys, and then I'll buy a new one, right? I said, and I asked them, I said, would that work? And they said, well, yeah, if you wanted to. And I go, okay, well, I want to. And then why don't you just save us all the trouble? Here's my receipt. Why don't you just return it right now, right? We'll leave that saw at home, and I'll keep it. I won't buy a new one. You just ring me up for a new one. And that's what they ended up doing. So anyway, then they said, oh, no, you know, it's only for select models of the Dwalt saw. So it turns out your saw is not one of the select models. And I said, you got to be kidding me. That's the most expensive saw that you have. They're saying, well, it's just not ringing up. You know, it must be for one of those other saws, one of those other Dwalt saws. I said, you only have one other Dwalt saw. And I said, if we go down there and we look at the saw that's on display, bet you anything it's the saw that I bought. Anyway, the lady from around the corner says, oh, no. All right, so we walked down there. Sure enough, it was the saw that I bought. Oh, she says, I get it now. I have to actually ring up. I have to ring up that stand in order for this to work. I'm like, yeah. So, you know, they were just kind of, it was like, could just sort of tell that they just didn't want to give me the saw, right? I mean, it retails for like $199 stand alone. So I thought it was a really good deal when I saw that thing come out. And I definitely felt like I had been, you know, suddenly that saw that I bought and I felt so good about, I kind of felt like I was ripped off, right? So a friend of mine urged me to go back in and try this, and sure enough, I got that stand. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Well, I'm done for the weekend. We got what happened? We got the roof on, so we finished the roof. We being me, and I put in this little guy right here. Whatever that picture is, that's a 7-head or a 5-headed dragon or hydra or something like that. That picture I sort of borrowed from my son. And so I think I need to do the railing for sure. Finish that up. I'm not going to do that today. I'll have to come back next weekend. But it should go pretty quick. The roof was pretty hard. First couple of pieces weren't so bad, but the last two were pretty hard. Last two sheets. You have to sort of get it all the way over, to the end, and then lift it up. Whereas the other ones you could sort of lift it up anywhere and then just sort of scoot it over. But these you had to drag all the way over here and hoist it up there. And so we're off by about 3 inches. We're not quite 3 inches, but it doesn't bother me. It's fine. And I think the roof is square, but underneath here I got off by 3 inches somehow, and I think it had to do with these posts here in either corner. And I should have, done it the right way and measured from corner to corner, and from that corner to that corner, and from that corner to that corner to make sure they were equal. But I didn't do it. I figured I could just, I could do a little bit of being off. That wasn't going to kill me, all right? And I think it's fine. Yeah, so I am going to put another support bar. So I've got these guys right here. I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but I'm going to put that little one of those bars coming out right there to hold that up, and I'll put just a little bit of one right there. And the same thing on the other side. And I better go put the tractor away. Alright, so again, I'm using this little USB. Other than the mower, that little forklift thing that I built is the most handy thing. It's the thing, after the mower, it's the number one thing that I use. And it's so simple. Pretty darn strong for how I built it. Well, there's the deck. Underneath that tarp over there is that saw. So we're going to take this guy back over to the shop because it's an extra. the other property here. there on the other side of those trees is where the shop is, like right there.